Hey guys, it's Gus. I just wanted to make a video. I don't know if it's going to be quick or not. I never really know until I'm at the end. But I wanted to update everybody since I had my first shot of testosterone on Friday. Today is Monday, um, whatever the date is. Friday was the 10th, so today is Monday the 13th, 2017. And in terms of changes, it's weird because my doctor told me that I could potentially expect some things, that I would feel some things this weekend, um, which I'll get into a little bit because I also want to go through like exactly how my testosterone appointment happened. If you watch my previous video of my first shot, I was so excited when I got home that I was like a rabbit on crack. I couldn't even calm down. Um, so it's been an interesting weekend. Basically, all right. So I'll go through how the doctor's appointment went. So originally we were only supposed to go and talk to the doctor about what it means to go on low dose testosterone. And my partner was going to come with me. She did come with me. We were going to hear all the information. We were going to talk about it. Excuse me. We were going to I don't know if we were going to make a decision, but we were at least going to feel a little bit more informed before going ahead with it. Now, it's quite interesting because I've done so much research on my own that I felt totally prepared. I kind of had an idea of the dosage. I had an idea of the method, blah, blah, blah. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, as a lot of us do, and I read a lot of blogs and things like that, so I don't feel like I'm far removed from the information itself, but obviously it's really individual to the person who's going through it, so I didn't want to assume that anybody else's dosage or journey or method or anything was going to be the same as mine. So anyway, my doctor, I live in New York City, and I go to the Callan Lord Community Health Center, which is an LGBTQ-focused health clinic. They do take every insurance as far as I know. They also do sliding scale. I actually don't have insurance, so I pay out of pocket based on sliding scale. And I've always found everything to be pretty affordable. For a lot of other folks, I know they've had better and worse experiences at Callan Lord, but I have to say for the few years that I've been going there, that's where I went before I got top surgery to have my physical and my EKG and all that stuff. I've always had a really positive experience. I love my doctor. She is amazing. She's hilarious. We vibe really well. She's interested in me. She's interested in my journey. She wants to make sure that I feel good. All of these things are really what the healthcare industry, it should not be an industry, but it is. It's really what the healthcare system should be like. It should be easy, and you should feel compassion and care from your doctor, which I'm fortunate that I feel those things. So anyway, before I get too lovey-dovey on my doctor, so we went in, and it was kind of like, why are you here today? And I was like, I want to talk about testosterone. And she was kind of like, okay, let's talk about testosterone. So she kind of ran me through how they work, which is with the informed consent model. Now, I had never previously experienced this. When I went to have top surgery, I had to go to therapy, I had to get a letter, I had to do all of this stuff to prove that I knew what I was doing. And that was cutting into my body having major surgery. So, I don't believe that we should have to, in essence, prove that we are mentally stable enough to have these surgeries and stuff, but hopefully the law is going to change and everything will be informed consent because, hi, I'm an adult. I pretty much know what I want to do with my life and my body by this point. Anyway, so she ran me through the informed consent, which basically just lists every single way that they could potentially kill you and releases them from liability. That is basically all it is. She didn't ask me why I wanted to go on T. She didn't ask me any of that stuff, which I was kind of like, wait, aren't there supposed to be more questions? But actually, that's what informed consent is you sign the form saying that you're aware of what you're about to do, and they go, all right, cool. So my doctor was like, so are we going to do the shot today? How do you feel about that? And it was kind of this awkward moment when I looked at my partner and we were both like, what do you mean we can do the shot today? So my doctor was like, I'm going to give you guys a minute. She left the room. She came back about 5 minutes later. During that period, my partner and I discussed, oh my God, I can't believe this could happen today. Are we both okay with this? This whole adding testosterone to my transition has always been a point of I don't want to say contention, but it's been difficult with my partner. We both have different backgrounds related to our experience. She has known a lot of trans people that have gone through full binary transition. I identify as non-binary transmasculine, so my end point at this point is still unknown. And I want to kind of hold on to that. I hope to touch on that in future videos about really what my personal identity means to me. But, so when we were kind of discussing it while the doctor was out of the room, she was feeling very rushed. She was like, I don't know if I can deal with the fact that this is right now. Blah, blah, all that stuff. But I was kind of excited about being able to start. And one thing that the doctor said when she came back in that alleviated a lot of my personal anxiety was that because I'm doing shots every 2 weeks, and I'll talk about that in a second, but because I'm doing shots every 2 weeks, nothing that would happen in the first 2 weeks really would be irreversible. So there's really no harm in trying it, essentially, and seeing how it made me feel. So I thought instead of going through the process of making sure my schedule was clear and doing all this stuff and booking another doctor's appointment, I would just go for it. And I'm actually really glad that I did that. So she wrote the prescription. Callan Lord has their own pharmacy within the building, so I went down to the pharmacy. I picked up the testosterone. I went back upstairs, and the nurse that had done my blood work before I went to the pharmacy showed me how to give a shot and walked me through the whole process, which is actually, it's more steps than I thought it would be with the needles and everything. But, he walked me through it. He gave me my shot. It actually didn't hurt at all. The blood draw a few minutes prior hurt way worse, and I have a giant bruise on my arm from it. But where he injected me in my thigh, there's not, you couldn't even tell that anything went in there. So he talked all about how to get the muscle, the direction that the needle should go, exactly how to get the proper dose into the syringe. To back up just a little bit, I have to do sub-Q injections because I take care of animals. And sometimes my dog sleeps in my bed, and I have heard from other folks, actually a friend of mine, you may know him from this story, his dog slept in bed with him when he was on androgel and all his dog's hair fell out. And obviously when I have other people's dogs staying at my house, I cannot cause their dogs to go bald because of what I'm doing. So between that and also not risking my partner being exposed directly to it, we decided that sub-Q was the pretty much the safest way to do it. So in terms of dosing, I'm on 100 milligrams every 2 weeks, which I believe is 0.5 cc every 2 weeks, which what I've heard is half of a standard dose, whatever a standard dose is. I know it's different for everybody. I know some people start on androgel way lower and then they bring it up. This is how my doctor does it. She starts everybody at this point, and after the second shot, so like a month into it, when I see her again, we're going to talk about how this month has made me feel, if I've noticed peaks and valleys in terms of mood, in terms of energy, just in terms of overall feeling, because we may decide to go to weekly shots, which would then, I believe, be 50 milligrams per week. So it's the same dose, it's just more steady. And I do believe that a lot of people are starting to take their injections that way because it does minimize any kind of mood swing. So, I have yet to see how that's going to make me feel. I really don't know, but I'm enjoying that my like personal feeling about this. I'm very open and I'm really kind of relaxed about the whole thing. I feel like I'm in a really good place with it, which is why going ahead and starting now was fairly easy. It wasn't like I was freaking out. It was more like, oh, I have the opportunity to start today. Awesome. Um, it's kind of like getting a surprise Christmas present or something. You're like, woo, great. But yeah, so that's my dosage. I'm going to be doing sub-Q, as I said. I'm a little freaked out about sticking a needle into my own leg, but, I'm covered in tattoos, so I got to suck it up, because that's just ridiculous. It didn't even hurt. It's just the more, I think, stabbing a sharp object into your leg thing that freaks me out. But, so basically with that, I go back in a week and a half now for my second shot, which the nurse will do for me again. And then when I go back 2 weeks after that for my third shot, that's when I self-administer. And if I'm cleared, meaning if I have done it properly and I feel comfortable enough, then I will have the prescription written for me that I will actually take home with needles and all the medical equipment and all that stuff. Medical equipment, what am I saying? Like cotton swabs and little alcohol swabs and things like that. So that part of the process is pretty easy. That's not a big deal. In terms of what I have felt, so Friday I got the shot at 12:15, like on the dot. And then my partner and I had to go to couples therapy, which was actually great timing. It felt very healthy to go from first shot of tea to being able to talk about it in therapy. So that was great. What I felt within the first hour, I felt really woozy, kind of like when you take a dose of the liquid NyQuil and you feel not drunk, but you just feel kind of like, whoa, a little bit. And that wooziness stuck around for most of the first day. It would kind of come and go. I did have a little bit of a headache, but I hadn't eaten very much before my appointment, which was kind of stupid because they took blood and everything, so I don't know if those were related. The fact that I remained kind of woozy for most of the day, I think was related to the shot. The headache went away. It was like less than an hour, and it wasn't like, I don't really get headaches anyway, but this was super mild. It was just kind of like, if you haven't slept enough and your head is kind of heavy feeling, that's what I experienced. I was really hungry right away. I got the shot, I ate lunch, and about a half hour after eating lunch, I was like ravenous again. And that's the biggest thing that I've noticed, and I don't even know if this stuff is placebo based on like excitement, or if these are actual symptoms of the shot right away. But I have been absolutely like insatiable for the last few days. I just want to eat everything, which I'm actually trying to lose weight and work out. So this is like really counterproductive to wanting to eat less. So basically I have to eat a ton of salad and fruit and try to deal with these crazy cravings and hunger pangs that I'm getting. I've also been really tired. I've heard that it can go either way, that there's like either an energy boost or you're just completely flat out exhausted. I unfortunately got the totally exhausted thing. It's been harder to sleep. It's been harder to wake up. It's been harder to maintain the normal level of energy that I have through the day. I am pretty active. I walk around the city a lot with my job. I'm on my feet a lot. And I just feel like I'm dragging ass, so I am trying not to pound Red Bull and extra cups of coffee, but some days you just gotta do it. When I woke up this morning, I didn't feel quite as groggy. I feel, I don't know how I feel yet today, really. I haven't been awake that long, but I'm hoping that tapers off soon. My throat, about 2 hours after the shot, I started to clear my throat way more than usual. I'm not a throat clearer. I don't usually have issues with my throat. The only way I can describe, it's really hard to describe what it feels like. It's not itchy or scratchy or tight. It's just there. Like, it's a little bit thick when I swallow. And of course I'm like, oh, maybe I'm just getting a cold, but I don't I don't want to read too much into the shot because I really don't know how fast these things happen, but I'm just kind of going through, what I've felt this weekend. So I do notice that I have to do that a lot. Or that there's like when I clear my throat, I feel like it doesn't totally clear itself right away. I don't think anything's happened with my voice. I keep waking up going, oh, am I going to get a drop? But I think it's way too soon for that. We all get really excited that things are going to happen, but all in good time. The sex drive, I think that has definitely been a factor. Thank goodness I have a partner. I'm just going to say that. It's been a fun weekend. And if that doesn't taper off ever, I'm really good with that because like I said, it's been a fun weekend. I'm gonna stop there. So in terms of changes, that's pretty much all that I've noticed. I am not a hairy person, so we'll see what this does to my body hair. Yeah. I don't really know what else to share at this point. I think I've babbled on for plenty of time. My plan is to kind of update every week until I hit about 2 months, and then I'll probably just do like a monthly video. So that might be it for today. If I can think of anything else, maybe I'll make another video. But if anybody watches this, I really appreciate you sitting through the whole thing. Feel free to comment. I would love to know if anybody else is on the same or similar timeline as me so that we can kind of check in. But yeah, that'll do it from New York, and I'll see you soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.